today, so we've got lots of people to say hello to. Are you ready? We're going to do Bertie, Ralph, and then Enzo. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Michelle. Hello, Bertie. Hello, Ralph. It's nice to see you here. Hello, Enzo. Hello, you. Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you here. Well, that was fun, wasn't it? I could have said hello to Bertie's rabbits because he likes to play with his rabbits. He likes to shake him around and do all and give him a good old squeeze like that. Don't you, Bertie? That's a good sound you've made there, Bertie. And it's made me think of squeaky things and things that float and bounce and balls and bubbles. It's made me think of bubbles. And I know a song about bubbles floating around, and it starts with 5. Are you ready? You've got to be a bubble like me. Are you ready? Can you float around? 1, 2, 3. 5 little bubbles floating around, floating around, floating around. 1 little bubble fell to the ground, and that little bubble went pop. Oh dear, I popped. And now I've only got 4 bubbles left. Are you ready? Back up. 4 little bubbles floating around, floating around, floating around. 1 little bubble fell to the ground, and that little bubble went pop. Oh dear, I've lost another one. And now I've only got 1, 2, 3. Back up. Thank you for joining in, Bertie. Oh, I just sorted myself out. 3 little bubbles floating around, floating around, floating around. 1 little bubble fell to the ground. Ooh, ooh, pop. And that little bubble went pop. Oh, I'm getting quite worn out with this, Bertie. Little one's popped. I've only got how many left? 2 little bubbles. Back up we get. Come on, everyone. Oh, I might float a bit slower now. Are you ready? 2 little bubbles floating around, floating around. Oh, all over here, floating around. 1 little bubble fell to the ground, and that little bubble went pop. 1 left. We started with 5, down 4, 3, 2, and now 1. Last bubble, Bertie. Last bubble. Are you ready? Back up. 1 little bubble floating around, floating around, floating around. That little bubble, where am I going to land? Where am I going to land? Oh, fell to the ground, and that little bubble went pop. Oh, Bertie, I went pop. I'm going to have a lay down now because I'm quite worn out now, Bertie. Oh, a bit of a rest. Oh, I had an idea from down here. It's a long way down too. I'm going to do See the Sleeping Michelles. Are you ready? Oh, my head. See the sleepy Michelles lying in the sun. Come, let us wake them with a merry tune. Ow! Oh, how still are they ill? Shh, 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 Bertie, shh. Wake up now. Jump, sleepy Michelles, jump, jump, jump. 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 Yeah! Oh, my hair's ruined. That was so much fun, but not as much fun as this. We're going to go outside now, and we're going to go and say hello to my guinea pigs. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, I've got Pixie. Can you see Pixie? She's quite dark and I'm wearing a dark top, so she's a bit hard to see. And she's got fur that goes all over the place. Some sticks up, some sticks down. It's called rosettes. So Pixie is one of our youngest guinea pigs. Ooh. I'm going to put her back in because Pixie's a little bit shy. We were trying to catch Paul. Oh, you can hear Paul, but he didn't want to come out, or she didn't want to come out. Paul is actually a girl, but we call her Paul because her hair looks a bit like my husband's, and he's called Paul, so that's why she's called Paul. Well, I'm going to put Pixie back, so you're going to watch how I put her back into her house. Come on, my darling. So this is their house. Just here, they've got quite a posh one, haven't they? Have a look. I'm going to open up the gate or the door and I'm going to put Pixie back in. Here we go, Pixie. You can go back into your house now. There she goes. And in there, she's got another little house that she can hide in if she wants to. But I thought it'd be a really good idea if we gave them some food. Oh, look, there's Paul over in the corner. Say hello to Paul. Got the same hair as my husband. And there's Beatrice over there as well. And I'm going to open up the bottom of their house. And in the bottom of the house, they like to run down for food. So you watch them run down their slope. Are you waiting and watching? Are you waiting and watching? Here they come. Here they come. Here we go. I'll pop it over there. And you watch them come over for their food. Oh, they normally run straight over. Today they're being a bit more careful. Here we go. Here's Beatrice. Hi, so today's story is about guinea pigs. There you go. There's 2 guinea pigs. And it says, my best friend Bob. I wonder which guinea pig's called Bob. My guinea pigs don't sit like that very often. They do occasionally when they're cleaning themselves, but it doesn't normally happen. Shall we read the story? Come on then. Oh, here they are, look. Brian, the guinea pig, lived in a very nice, comfy cage in Pete's Pet's Palace with his best friend Bob. I think he's going to be Bob. I don't know. And he might be Brian. We'll have to keep reading and find out. But look, they're in a pet shop and it's called Pete's Pet's Palace. Brian had short, shiny fur, which was very proud of, and Bob had long, tufty, fluffy fur, which he didn't really think about all that much. Ah, so there we go. Brian's got short hair and Bob's got long hair. Bob looks a bit like Pixie that I've just shown you, doesn't he? And look, they're eating their foods. They've got nuts and seeds and berries. My guinea pigs have special little pellets and I like to give them grass and things like that as well. The 2 little guinea pigs spent their days doing what the guinea pigs like to do best. Eating, yeah, they love that. Sleeping, definitely. And playing I Spy. I didn't know they played I Spy. I'll have to watch them a bit more now, I think. Brian was terribly good at I Spy and almost always won with clever words like budgerigar and dog's food. Can you see a budgerigar? You found it. Oh, well done. And where's the dog food? On the shelf. A dog's dinner, it's called. One day, Brian and Bob were busy playing when a little boy walked into the shop. I spy with my little eye, said Bob. But before he could finish, the little boy reached into the cage and picked him up. I want this one, said the boy. I shall call him Fluffy. Look, he's picked him up. Oh my goodness, Bob's been picked up and he's going to change his name to Fluffy. While Brian watched as Bob was put into a cardboard box with holes in the lid and he just had time to wave goodbye and Bob was gone. Oh no, look at Brian's little face. He looks super sad. Oh, Brian, I hope this is a happy ending. Suddenly, the cage felt very big and empty. Oh no, look, he's so sad. Oh dear, sighed Brian. I shall miss Bob. And he trundled off to find a peanut to cheer himself up. But he didn't feel cheered up at all. Look, he's even sat there playing with the food and still doesn't feel happy. In fact, every day, Brian missed Bob more and more, and every day he felt more and more miserable. Oh dear. Then one day, Brian was sitting in his cage feeling very glum when he noticed an old man, here he is, peering down at him. Peering means looking. The man picked him up and smiled. "Oh, he's just what I've been looking for," he said, and put Brian into a box. It's happening all over again. They keep putting the guinea pigs in boxes. Shh. At first, Brian was excited. "Maybe there will be other guinea pigs in my new home," he said to himself, and he began to whistle and felt much more cheerful. Oh yes, look, much happier face now, isn't he? But that evening he found himself all alone. Oh no, it's not going to be a happy ending. Without so much as an earwig for company. That's a little bug. Brian sighed. He wished he'd be back in Pete's Pet's palace. At least he could chat to the goldfish there. "I wonder what happened to my best friend Bob," whispered Brian. "He's probably forgotten all about me by now." And he wiped a tear away from his furry eye and curled up in the straw. Oh, I feel so sorry for him. I feel so sad for him. I hope it is going to be a happy ending. Oh, look, they've opened the box up. The next morning, Brian hadn't even opened his eyes when he felt his box being lifted up. "Oh, what's happening now?" he grumbled. But he didn't really care. Things couldn't get much worse than they already were. And he drifted back to sleep, dreaming of Pete's Pet Palace. That's quite hard to say, you know. And winning a peanut throwing contest with Bob. Look, that's the man who bought him. I wonder where he's going to take him. After a while, a little bit later, Brian was woken by a buzz of excitement, voices outside of his box. "Oh, bother," he said crossly. "I can't. Oh, can't I at least have some peace and quiet?" Then suddenly the lid was lifted off and bright light streamed into the box. Oh, look at that big face peering into the box. That's a bit scary for a little tiny guinea pig, isn't it? Brian looked up to see a little boy smiling down at him. At least it's a friendly face, isn't it? A smiling, friendly face. He sleepily wondered if he'd seen the boy somewhere before. Do you recognise that little boy at all? I do, look! I recognise that stripy red and white top. The boy picked Brian up and gave him the biggest hug he'd ever had. "Oh, thank you, Grandad," he said. "Oh, he's just what I wanted. I shall call him Snuffles." Oh, look, I'm not sure Brian wants to be called Snuffles. So he was somebody's granddad, this little boy's granddad. The little boy put Brian into his new hutch, and Brian stretched out and sniffed the air. "That's funny," he said, as he sniffed the air again. Oh, that's a strange smell. But I seem to recognise it," he thought. And as Brian watched, a pile of hay in the corner started to move. And all of a sudden, I think it's going to be a happy ending, everybody. Bob! Brian! Yes, it's a happy ending! They've met each other again. Oh, it's the little boy's granddad who bought him. Oh, that's such good news. Brian was so excited to see Bob that he thought he might just burst with happiness. And that evening, sitting together in their hutch playing I Spy, of course, the two little guinea pigs had almost forgotten they'd ever been apart. "I spy with my little eye," said Bob, "something beginning with P. P. Brian was already fast asleep. Can you see the something beginning with a p sound? Can you work it out? It could be guinea pig, pig, but I think it's going to be peanuts. That is a happy ending after all. I am so happy that they found one another again. And look, if you look over the top, you can see My guinea pig's having a bit of a nibble. Do you want to have a quick look before I sing the goodbye song? Can you see? Oh, I think a wasp wanted to come and say hello then as well. Are you ready for the goodbye song? What about you, guinea pigs? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye to all our friends. Singing I, yippee, yippee, I, yee-haw! Singing I, yippee, yippee, I, woohoo! Singing I, yippee, I, yippee. Thank you, Blackbird, for joining in. I, yippee, yippee, I. Goodbye, goodbye.